go for at leading cases, I would like to tell you that it's better to read the question paper carefully, because the examiner expects that we should apply our mind on the given problem and to mention all the relevant judgment. What he expects is that we should know the facts. It's not necessary that we are going to write the verbatim language. What is required is that we should be aware of the facts and the issue involved in the question, the majority and dissenting and judgment, majority and dissenting view of the judges. Because if suppose a question comes on Minerva Mills, in that case, examiner expects the students that they should be aware that what was the view of Justice Bhagwati in that case. So if you write that dissent also, it will become a bonus point for you. As per the examiner, and in otherwise also, we should be aware of the judgments in which this leading case has been followed. In some of the matters, the leading cases has overruled the previous judgments. So we should be aware of that judgments also. I would like to give you an example of this. Suppose a question comes on Minerva Mills. In that case, we are required to write the history of the development of the law. In that case, we are supposed to mention that Shankari Prasad's case, Sajjan Singh's, and the Keshwanand Bharti. If we are not going to mention this, that means we have not read properly, because it will show our application of mind in that case, and the examiner will also come to know that we are aware of all the facts and development of law. So if you are, I don't know whether you have that list of leading cases or not. We can divide mainly the leading cases into 6 or 7 parts. First is the constitutional amendments, that is related with basic structures doctrine. The case which is mentioned in Minerva Mills versus Union of India, which is at serial number 9 in our leading cases list. Then there is I.R. Coelho versus State of Tamil Nadu, that is serial number 16 in the leading cases, which I have shared in our AOR lecture group also. So you can go through those judgments also. Then it's L. Chandra Kumar, which is at serial number 5. So if suppose examiner asks you about what is the basic structure, or if he asks about Minerva Mills or L. Chandra Kumar, we are supposed to mention all these judgments while writing our answer. And I will suggest that before writing anything, it's better to give a thorough view, study thoroughly the paper which is in front of us. Then there are judgments which are related to constitutional provisions, like Shamsher Singh versus State of Punjab, whereby power of presidents and governor were in question. Then Kyoto Holohon, whereby power under Article 368 was also considered. Then S.R. Bommai versus Union of India. I think I am a little fast, so you should note down. I will speak slowly. Then Amarendra Singh versus State of Punjab. So these are 4 judgments which are related to the constitutional provisions which were in question in these judgments. Like in Amrinder Singh versus State of Punjab, there was privilege of the House under Article 194(3) and 105(3). And S.R. Bommai versus Union of India, as you are aware, in 1992, after Babri Masjid demolition, the BJP government states whereby BJP was ruling party, those governments were dismissed. And as well as some three Congress ruled was also dismissed. So that was in question at that. And President rule, whether president rule is applied or under or can be challenged, judicial review of the presidential rule is can be questioned or not. This was decided. So then comes reservation category, the judgments which decides on reservations in the jobs. Then Indira Sahani is the main judgment, which is 1992 supplementary 3 SCC 212. When the examiner asks about Indira Sahani, we are supposed to mention M. Nagaraj and Ashok Kumar Thakur. Although M. Nagaraj has been partly overruled, in last semester, it was said that this question, M. Nagaraj was not taken, was not considered. But as per, but I will advise that we should ask you some question regarding reservation. Judiciary, the question came on judiciary when the supremacy of the consideration by the Chief Justice of India, his advice will prevail. Before that, it was SP Gupta, which was 7 judges, and that it was overruled in Skora versus Union of India, which was by 9 judges. And the important thing is that we should be aware that how many judges were in majority, how were in minority, how many judges concurred, because it will give a good impression on the examiner, and you will be able to get the extra marks. Extra marks, I mean that it will be a bonus, and it's suffice to impress the examiner also. So the next is this education. On education, if any question comes on education law, in that case you're supposed to mention TMA PI, then Islamic Academy, what NPA Inamdar. Islamic Academy, in TMA PI, it was judgment by 11 judges, whereby how many schools, how the benefits will be given to the schools which are aided, non-minority, minority, non-aided schools, and the professional schools. It was so many questions were there, and we are supposed to know what was the issues raised at that point of time. Suppose in Maneka Gandhi case, if comes and they ask you, then it was freedom of personal liberty. And if they are going to ask you freedom of liberty or Minerva or Maneka Gandhi's case, in that case, you are also required to mention about Khadak Singh's judgment also, and D.K. Basu and Vishakha. Because in Maneka Gandhi, the law was developed by the judges to a great extent. And if in that case, you are also supposed to write about right to privacy is also a fundamental right. So if you are going to write all these things, it will show that you are aware of the judgments which came later on. And the next is Supreme Court powers of judicial review, or you can say curative petitions, which how the law developed for curative petitions. So in that case, we are supposed to mention A.R. Antule's case. We should be aware that what were the facts of this case, what was the question in that case, and thereafter we are supposed to write M.S. Ehlawat versus Union of India, then Rupa Ashok Hurra versus Ashok Hurra. Thereafter, after Rupa Ashok Hurra, it came Jacairus Lakada versus Union of India, whereby a curative petition was decided, whereby writ petition was converted into curative petition by saying that as the petitioner was a juvenile at the time of offense, which was not considered in SLP or in review. Thereafter, writ petition was filed in the Supreme Court, and Supreme Court considered it, and the writ petition was converted into curative petition. Then there was NCW, National Commission for Women versus BL Sharma, whereby locus standi was under question of the NCW. Then while you are going to write Rupa Ashok Hurra, you are supposed to mention the requirement while filing a curative petition, that there should be violation of principle of natural justice, then that judge failed to disclose his interest either to the subject or to the parties, and to that we are required to mention that these grounds were specifically taken in the review petition, and the review petition was dismissed by way of circulation. Then there is a requirement of certificate to be issued by a senior advocate who will certify that certain requirements has been complied with, and CP is required to be circulated before 3 senior most judges. They will decide whether this petition is liable to be entertained. If it is liable to be entertained, in that case, it will go to the judges who has decided the matter. Now, these are the things. When in reservation, you are supposed to mention the other judgments which are there. These were the 5-6 categories which are specifically, and almost 3 questions are used to be asked from these. That is constitutional amendment, basic structure doctrine. Then it comes judgments related to constitutional provisions. Then regarding judiciary, reservation, fundamental right to life or personal liberty, education, and Supreme Court power of judicial review. These are the judgments which were decided by 5 judges bench, 7 judges, 9, 11 judges, and Keshwanand Bharti, we are going to mention by 13 judges. So if you are aware about how many judges has decided, who were in favor, who were in majority, who were in minority, who concurred, who gives their different opinions, it matters a lot. Then there are some judgments which are decided by 2 judges, but they are also called leading cases, because they have set up a law which is required to be followed in future problems or future questions whichever will arise. Like this Pradeep Kumar Biswas versus Indian Institute of Chemical Biology. It was also by 7 judges. It is related to the whether Council for State Indian Research Institute was a state under Article 12 or not. So the question was decided on the basis of the activity carried by the institute. Then Swami Shraddhanand versus State of Karnataka, which is related to death sentence and remissions, how should be granted. Then Nandini Sundar versus State of Chhattisgarh, whereby victim of violation and victim of conflict was considered. Then Selvi versus State of Karnataka, which is related to narco analysis and the powers and the privilege of a person to keep silent at the time of for his defense. So these were in questions. Then Center for Public Interest Litigation was a 2G spectrum case and 3G spectrum case. As I have appeared in my UR, so I will advise you something that I have left Vodafone judgment. It is 350-page judgment, and I took a chance that it's better not to go for this judgment. Although it's up to you if you want to go. I am telling you my story because it was too lengthy, and you can't believe on the book which generally Supreme Court provides you at the time of writing a question paper, writing answer to the question paper. Because the 350-page judgment of Vodafone is only for 1 page in that book which they are going to provide you for your examination, and never ever rely upon on the book which they are going to give you, because at that time you don't have so much of time to write or to watch and to see what was there. So it's always better that you should have a clarity with regard to judgments, so that you can write without any disturbance. If you want to see if you are missing something in your mind, in that case you can see that, so that it will remind you all the things related to that. So, and one more thing which I made a mistake at that time, keep your watch 15 minutes faster. Because when we used to write a paper, we forget what is the time and divide the time into how if they are asking you 5 questions, it's better to divide your time 30 minutes each and finish the paper within time, and do your paper completely. Don't leave any question. If they have asked you to write down answer of 5 questions, you make it sure that you have written all the answers and given answer to the 5 questions. Give 5 minutes time later on to check whether anything as important has been left or not, and 10 minutes time to read the paper carefully. And the style of answering is that you should have a clear writing. Unless and until you should write in clear handwriting, examiner is not going to read what you have written in the exam in the sheet. So I will advise, give attention to your writing also. uh, First of all, you should mention what were the facts in brief, then question, then issue involved in those judgments. So if the main thing is, if you understood the issue involved in questions and the major what decided by majority, that what decided by minority, and concurring view or dissenting view, these are also important. Like in judgment regarding to education, there was dissent of Justice Radhakrishnan in the case of Society for Unaided Private Schools of Rajasthan versus Union of India, whereby it was said that unaided, and whether minority or not, unaided or not, they should give admission to the students in their schools. In This was decided in Society for Unaided Private School. This is 2012 6 SCC 1. I will also advise that if you go through the judgments, that will also make the things easy. Then, because in it will make, and I will advise you to make a point that how many judgments have been related to those matters. Like I am suggesting you TMA Pi, this is 2008, Islamic Academy, then PA Inamdar, then Society for Unaided Private Schools, and Pramiti Educated and Cultural Trust, whereby it was held that Right to Education Act 2009 is not ultra virus to Article 19(1)(g), and so far it applies to minority schools, aided or unaided. They are not covered. They are covered under Article 31, and they are not supposed to give admission to as required by the government. So this case, Society for Unaided Private School, was overruled with regard to aided and minority schools. Minority school, whether aided or unaided. Then there are some judgments which are otherwise very important. This was SBP and Company versus Patel Engineering Limited, 2005 8 SCC 618, whereby power exercised by the Chief Justice of India or High Court were in question, whether it's judicial power or it's administrative power. It was held that these power exercised by the CJI are judicial power, and but it cannot be challenged. Then there is Mafatlal Industries Limited versus Union of India, which is related to industries, whereby it was defined what organizations will fall in the definition of industry. Then there is Jahira Habibullah Sheikh versus State of Gujarat. It is by 2 judges, and which decides transfer of criminal case can be done on which grounds. Although it's by 2 judges bench, but it's important judgment. Then Manay Kumar Ganguly versus Dr. Sukumar Mukherjee, which is related to medical negligence of the doctors and how it will be decided. Then there was the Aruna Ramchandra Shanbag, although it is mentioned in leading cases, but I think that it would have been changed because law has already been developed. DK Basu versus State of West Bengal also. In the past 2 months, it was within 2 months that there is a notice issued on the case of DK Basu, as some petition has been filed to consider the view taken in DK Basu and to make guidelines which are much more relevant, as the guidelines which were framed in DK Basu are not sufficient and not suffice. Uh, then it comes Vellore Citizens Welfare Forum versus Union of India, which is related with environmental law. Then State of Maharashtra versus Sangraj Damodar Rupadwate. It is related to Article 191G also, 191G. It was whereby publication was prohibited by the state of Maharashtra. It was a publication on Chhatrapati Shivaji. So Supreme Court held that they cannot stop anything as they have, it's their fundamental right. Then it's Geeta Hariharan versus Reserve Bank of India, whereby Hindu Guardianship Act was considered. And it was held that Geeta Hariharan as well as this Vandana Shiva, both are related, both are decided on the same footings. Then it was Daniel Latif versus Union of India, which is related to the Muslim women rights under section one. Judgment was this was State of West Bengal versus Committee for the Protection of Domestic Rights. It is related to the transfer of investigation to CBI. So in present scenario, you can also give example of this Sushant Singh case, whereby request has been request was made to the Supreme Court for transfer of the investigation to CBI. It was the powers of under Article 226, 227. The High Court held that they are having power to transfer the investigation to the central bank, to the CBI. And it was held that as there is no confliction in the powers of the state and union, and there is no violation otherwise, so they can transfer the investigation to the CBI. One minute. So there are total 44 judgments they have given. So you should be aware how many judgments has been followed in the further course in the other judgments also. Now, you better make a chart of the judgment. Hello.
It's 3 minutes to go. You continue. Meeting will get over. We'll log in again.
Okay. So for your convenience, you can make a chart whereby you can mention what are the judgments which are being followed or overruled and how many judges have decided it. what were the issues involved and what was the act involved and the sections involved. It will be convenient for all of you to remember the judgments. It's a simple trick which I applied at the time when I was preparing for my AOR examination.